My ex is cheating on me with 3 different men on Facebook. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. A few years ago, I had an ex with 3 other lovers. 3 other genuine partnerships, for example. 3 radically different lives. She was able to get away with it by pretending she had a sleep disorder that caused her to sleep all the time. On one occasion, she had just woken up at 4 p.m. I dialed her number since I was bored. It rang briefly before going to voicemail. I called again in case she had left her phone in another room or something. And this time a man answered. I inquire as to who it is and why he has my girlfriend's phone. He informs me that she is his girlfriend and that they have been together for 4 months. Her and I had been dating for around 7 months. He stated that I most likely had the wrong number because his girl is devoted to him and would never cheat on him. I inquired if I was phoning insert ex's name. It was confirmed by him. We agreed to meet in person. We met at a coffee shop because I didn't want to get jumped because he misunderstood something. I began by wondering how they had a 4-month romance without my knowledge. He claimed she never mentioned my existence and that he had no idea she came to this section of town. He looks her up on Facebook to make sure we've got the right chick. She had a separate, secret Facebook account with hundreds of friends that she used to trick him into thinking he was the only one, making him the focus of her relationship status, just like she did with the Facebook I was aware of. That cleared everything. I inquired as to why he had no suspicions about me. She explained that she suffers from depression and goes long periods without speaking to anyone, so he would only text her when she texted him. Just as I would because I assumed she was sleeping when she wasn't messaging because she slept so much. I gave him my side of the story and showed him the Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram accounts I was familiar with. She also had several Instagram accounts, but the Snapchat account he had was the same as mine. Meeting up with this person hurt at first because I had loved this girl and was merely meeting up with the guy she had been cheating with. But finally, we were just pointing out all the holes in her argument and cursing ourselves for being so deafeningly D. We decided to devise a strategy to expose her. We were going to behave as if we didn't know anything, and he was going to invite her to his house so she could meet his new acquaintance, me. She did and showed up right away. It ached to see how quickly she arrived, but I expected it. He was sitting in the kitchen, right near to the front entrance. She walked in and D kissed him. Hey, babe, where's your pal? She inquired of him. Hey, do I know you from somewhere? I remark as I go out of the living room, right next to the kitchen. She literally stopped in place like a deer caught in headlights. She locked her gaze on the two of us for a few moments before declaring that she was sick and needed to go. We clearly stopped her and demanded that she explain herself. She sarcastically stated that it is none of our business what she does with her life. We literally burst out laughing. She became enraged when she heard us laughing and stormed into the living room. We didn't think much about it, except that she might need to think about how to explain herself. We sat in the kitchen, chatting about how ridiculous she is, making sure she could hear, and sometimes bringing up some messed up aspect of our respective sides of the relationship. A big smash can be heard from the living room, and she walks back into the kitchen smirking at the other guy, and then he flicks him off. She simply stands in the doorway, confident smile on her face. The man apparently stepped outside to check what was going on. This jerk tossed his PS4 into his $400 flat-screen TV. I'm glad we didn't do this at my place because I had a $2,000 computer set at the time. I hear the guy yell, then rush back into the kitchen. She literally says to him as she looks at him, "That'll teach you not to barge behind my back." He's just staring at her. I'm sitting there thinking, wait, what the heck just happened? I didn't see the shattered electronics because I hadn't moved. There is an unsettling pause. The man was plainly enraged. He told her she needed to explain herself. She stated that she was not required to do so. He threatened to call the cops on her for trashing his property. If he does that, she would tell the cops that she only did it because we pulled her here and raped her. This made both of us chuckle at her. She became irritated and attempted to leave. Boot T, he blocked the door. Before calling the cops, he asked that woman explain herself. She sobbed and told us that she had TWO other boyfriends, and that she had every right to do so given how repressed women have been in recent years. At this point, we both laughed at her again, because that is the silliest reason to cheat on 3 separate guys who clearly adore her. She began raving about how guys are terrible because they are all misogynistic pigs and we are all horrible rapists who take what we want when we want, blah 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 standard feminist nonsense. It came absolutely out of nowhere. She'd never had an opinion on anything like this before. She even joined me in laughing at memes about silly feminists doing stupid things. So the bitch breaks up with both of us right there, calling us horrible pigs. We were gonna leave her, she just beat us to it. She claimed she didn't need us because she already has 2 men and can obtain more with the snap of a finger. We were laughing for majority of her feminist rant because none of it had any solid footing for an argument. She was essentially just asserting that all males were pigs with no more details provided other than the fact that we rape and steal what we want. When she finally stopped yelling, she collapsed to the floor and sobbed, pleading to be let to leave. She stood up and stormed out angrily as the guy opened the door and stated with pleasure, "Okay, you suppose that's it? She just left and we never spoke again." You are absolutely correct. She and I never communicated again. But I had taped the most of her feminist rant, in which she argued that she had every right to have as many guys as she wanted because males are pigs and rapists. And the guy clearly had an advantage in this due to his malfunctioning gadgets. He calls the cops and they arrive. We explain what happened, and I show them the video and they are completely taken aback. They stated they'd look into it and that he could bring charges, if he wished. He obviously did. The cops were dispatched to find out where she had gone. The guy and I then went into full detective gear, tracking down 2 more Facebook accounts under her name, both of which were routinely updated with photos of her and her partners. We demoed the other guys and explained ourselves, linking them to the Facebooks and Instagrams she used with us. We apologized to them for having to find out in this manner. They claimed they were leaving her as well, and that they were pleased we exposed her before they fell too deeply in love with her. We advised them to watch her Facebook accounts because we were ready to tag her in something. I went on every single one of her Facebook pages that I could find and posted the video of her outburst, naming her and the males she was dating. Within minutes, I received a slew of texts from her pleading with me to remove the post before her boyfriends discovered it. I clearly ignored it and blocked her. The rant she gave gained her a ton of attention, and she was finally rejected from our area and had to relocate to a completely new state, leaving everything she had achieved behind. The posts also received a large number of reports, which resulted in my Facebook account being blocked. I was a little irritated. I don't talk to him anymore, but I heard she bought him a new television and a PlayStation 4. Because the moron didn't know anything about games, she purchased him the newer, more expensive one. I'm not sure what it's called because I'm not a console pleb. She was charged, and I guess she tried the same rant with the cops, but I'm not sure how it went because I wasn't there. We wouldn't have done any of it if she hadn't smashed his PlayStation or even if she hadn't yelled at us. The best part is that none of this would have occurred to her if she had simply remained faithful. Stupid jerk. I had an ex who had 3 other boyfriends, met one of them, invited her over, proceeded to damage all of our relationships, trash her reputation in the neighborhood, and push her to leave her entire life behind. Because, as we all know, men are pigs.